go ahead and do my outline with my talon so we can have a nice, crisp, solid outline. And there's what it feels like. So as you can see, yes, it does hurt. No, it's not going to kill you. And just about everything you heard about how these were supposed to feel was probably pretty inaccurate. By the way, this is a great idea. If you're going to come and get your first tattoo, don't come and get the little tiny kanji symbol or what's the smallest star you can put in the most discreet location. Go in and get exactly what you want from the very beginning, because it is going to last you forever. So after you outgrow your tiny first tattoo, you're either going to be stuck covering it up or trying to do something else with it to change it when you could have just got it right the first time. And that choice doesn't just come down to the piece itself, it comes down to the artist that you choose to do your tattoo. It comes down to the decision whether to do it in black and gray or in color. It comes down to placement as far as how well it's going to look in a certain location. There really is a lot of decisions that need to be made while you're approaching how you're going to do your tattoo that people tend to not pay as much attention to as maybe they could sometimes, which leads to dissatisfaction with the end result quite often. These are a couple long lines. This is your letter L, so obviously it's kind of high. Just bear with me on this. I'll break it up a little bit for you when we get to a point that... Okay, I'll stop it there. This is definitely a different approach than what I was taking when I was working on the cat piece. The cat piece, obviously, you know, I was trying to use as minimal outline as possible. This, you know, you really want your outline to be nice and crisp and sharp. And so I kind of use an overabundance of ink in the tip, so it's a little messier. But I really want to saturate these needles as they hit the skin. So most problems that occur with tattoos are a direct result of the artist, even though most artists try to blame it on something that the customer did. Because you figure when you're tattooing, if you're doing it properly, you're not doing much more damage than if you had fallen and skinned your knee. So even the myth that if you're drunk or whatever, you're going to bleed all over the place, for the most part, unless you're so drunk you can't move and you're passed out. I mean, you know, how many drunks have you seen, you know, fall and lose their balance and skin their knee? None of them have bled to death profusely, you know. Alright, so now we're about to shade it in. Finished all of his basic outline work. I'm just going to go back in with the shader. I'm using a curved 11 Magnum. Again, I purchased these needles from Cam. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip shade this to give it that kind of a traditional yet polished feel, because obviously, you know, fancy script lettering style has been around for generations as far as being a staple of tattooing. By the way, you can feel that, yes, it still feels like a tattoo, but that probably is nothing like dragging that outline across your skin there.
This is different.
Yep. So I'm going to start out dark at the edges, and I'm going to fade it to get lighter and lighter, and that's where that gray wash set comes in, because you can pound in some really dark stuff at the edges, and then as you feather it out, you just quickly switch into your next ink cap over there, which is set up with your next consistency of pigment, and keep on rolling without having to think about it too much. That's actually good though. With lettering, the longer the name is, the better you can flow it, and so it ends up looking nicer. Somebody named Kimberly that comes in because they're scared and doesn't want to get all those letters, and they just get Kim. You're limited as to what you can do with it, you know, because as far as the way it flows, obviously you can do the same techniques as you can use on the whole name Kimberly, but there's just not as much space to flow. So you're kind of limited in your.
This is the third level.
We're getting there. I know it's starting to get a little raw, but we're in the kind of just the last stages of putting your little finishing touches on it. You'll be able to send you on your way here shortly. Get you cleaned up, let you check it out. You'll be walking around shirtless for the next month or so people can see it. Flexing.
I'll start working out.
Alright, so now I'm going to spray it off so we can see what we got.
Done?
I don't know yet. I mean, we're done
We're close.
basically, but I just want to make
know.
sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. I didn't leave anything out. Cool, man. Looks like we just about got you there, don't it? If you want to stand up and look in that mirror right there so you can see what you got.
I see you, babe.
Oh no, you're good. I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this.
Yeah, what is that?
This is just A&D. I don't recommend A&D for your healing process, unlike some places do. The reason I'm using A&D now is because you're still bleeding. And what this is going to provide is a nice little film against the skin that if you bleed out, then when you take the bandaging off and clean it, you don't have scabbiness stuck to it before you ever get a chance to start healing. After that, you're just going to want to use either some lotion or some tattoo-specific product, which I do sell up front. I'm carrying Tat Wax from Cam, which is basically a natural product that assists in the healing and keeping you comfortable. That will be all you really need to use other than to keep it clean.
That looks fat.